What is past the astral realm? Are there politics among those higher densities? Okay, so a good way to think about this is, like I mentioned, at the very top, you could say pure, unconditioned consciousness. We call that your soul, Kether, whatever. At the very bottom is manifest reality, dense manifest reality. And this is the world that you see around you. Trees, idiots, arguing, sexing, all that stuff down here at the dense manifest expression of reality. And then you got the unmanifest. And the levels in between of soul gradually descending in density and vibration and becoming a manifested thing. Well, those steps of downgrading are the different planes, right? So you got the manifest dimension, you got the etheric plane, then you got the astral plane, then what's known as the mental plane, and then the causal plane, and then finally this soul level. Now, depending on where your study is, you might see 5 different levels, you might see 7. But the general rule of thumb is that what marks the difference of these different planes is how consciousness moves about. The physical plane, consciousness moves about through a physical vessel, and it moves in 6 directions: up, down, left, right, forward, back, and through time. So I guess you could say 7. But the higher up you go, it's almost as if the number of directions of movement are decreased. In the astral plane and the etheric plane, the movement is simply expansion and contraction. Expansion and contraction. In the mental plane, you can imagine how movement of consciousness is focus based from one point or another point instantaneously. So you asked the question, are there politics among those other densities? Well, yes and no, right? Yes, as far as because there are ways of movement, there are quote unquote rules, right? Simply descriptions of how consciousness are moving. But politics, as far as like good guy, bad guy, I like this, I don't like this, all that is mainly on the manifest physical dimension where human beings are, because we feel separated. The higher up you go, the more that there is a realization that there is only one existence, only one consciousness. The higher up you go, the more that realization is evident. It's not very evident down here. Hence why everyone believes that we're also separate and different. Hence why everyone believes that we are these physical bodies. In truth, what you actually are is unmanifest. And I mean that literally. You are not manifest. What you think you are is, you think that you're something that's manifest. You think you're something that can be described. But what you actually are is unmanifest. It cannot be described because it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. It's not a thing that can be described.